The sight of a stranger pulling my daughter by her hair across our own living room floor is burned into my mind forever. Her fingernails clawed at the wooden planks, finding no purchase. Her voice was a raw, shattered plea. "Dad, stop him!" The man in the cheap nylon vest didn't even glance back. He just kept dragging her toward the open front door, muttering about HOA cop. My wife was on the floor behind him, having slipped in her rush to intervene. I stepped down to the bedroom hallway, and the world compressed into a single horrifying point. Before I show you what happened in the next 30 seconds, tell me where you're watching from in the comments. For Trending Tales Pulse, your likes shape our future videos. To understand how this nightmare began, you need the backstory. We'd been in the Silver Pines community for less than a month. From the very first day, the HOA chairwoman, Patricia Vale, took an instant, venomous dislike to my 15-year-old, Chloe. Chloe is an introvert. Sketchbooks, novels, and earbuds are her world. But Patricia saw a target. She issued a warning because Chloe's skateboard was improperly stored on our porch. She wrote a citation for excessive auditory disturbance when Chloe laughed with a friend on the sidewalk. She demanded a behavioral review for my child. My wife tried to reason with her. Her response was chilling. "If you can't control her, the association will." I was away for training, missing the escalation. The final straw was a mandatory escort order delivered to our door, demanding Chloe present herself at the HOA office. We ignored it, so Patricia decided to enforce it herself. He let himself in. No knock, no announcement. He just walked into our home, grabbed my daughter by her long hair the moment she passed the living room, and began to pull. My wife rushed in and fell, and I entered the scene. The man finally noticed me. His grip tightened. My voice dropped to a register I hadn't used in years. "Take your hand off my daughter." He turned a smug, contemptuous grin on his face. "Or what? I'm acting under community authority. She's non-compliant." He had no idea the kind of man he was talking to, or the catastrophic error he had just made. My name's Marcus. I spent over a decade in special operations. I came home for a quiet life. He was threatening the reason for that life. I took one measured step forward. I will not ask again. He actually chuckled, yanking Chloe's hair once more for emphasis. She cried out in pain, a sound that severed the last thread of my restraint. There is a line you never cross. He just vaulted over it. My heart didn't race. It settled into a cold, lethal rhythm. Everything became clear, focused, the way I was trained. "Final warning," I said, the words flat and absolute. He sneered. "She is coming with me. HOA rules are." I didn't let him finish. The shot was precise, a single round to his upper leg. The bang was deafening in the enclosed space. His body seized. A scream high and shrill ripped from his throat as he collapsed, his hand finally releasing his hold. Chloe scrambled across the floor into her mother's arms. But he wasn't done. Clutching his leg, blood seeping between his fingers, he glared up at me. "You shot me! You can't do this! I have jurisdiction!" He kept ranting, spitting curses, pointing a bloody finger at my sobbing daughter. "That girl is a violation. She deserves." "Silence," I commanded. He didn't listen. He kept shouting, his words layering more trauma onto my child's terror. The second shot was a calculated decision. It struck his shoulder, spinning him to his back. The shouting stopped. He lay there, conscious but stunned, gasping like a fish on a dock. I holstered my weapon, exhaled once, and dialed 911. "Intruder in my home," I stated calmly. "He assaulted my child. He's neutralized. Send police and medical." I checked the door he'd forced open. My wife rocked Chloe, whispering reassurances. Distant sirens began to pierce the quiet morning. If this story has your heart pounding, hit the like button. It tells us you want more content like this. For Trending Tales Pulse, your likes shape our future videos. Police and paramedics arrived in a synchronized blur of light and sound. The would-be enforcer was loaded onto a gurney, pale and moaning. An officer approached, his eyes taking in my posture, the scene, my daughter's bruised scalp. "Start from the beginning, sir." I did. I pointed to the red marks on Chloe's neck. "He dragged her. He refused commands to release her." Another officer returned from checking our porch camera. "Footage confirms everything." His voice was tight. "Forced entry, the assault, the response." Then she appeared. Patricia Vale marched up our walkway as if she owned it, her face a mass of indignant fury. "What is the meaning of this? That man was executing a lawful HOA retrieval." My wife stood, fire in her eyes. "He attacked our daughter." Patricia waved a dismissive hand. "That child is a persistent nuisance. She was slated for corrective action." The lead officer stared at her and then held up a phone. "We recovered your messenger's device. The texts are quite clear. Get the girl, use necessary force, I'll handle the legalities, make an example of them." Patricia's arrogance evaporated. She stammered, "That's not, it's taken out of context." "It's a conspiracy to kidnap a minor," the officer stated, stepping forward. "Patricia Vale, you are under arrest." The click of the handcuffs was the most satisfying sound I'd heard all day. She was charged with solicitation of kidnapping, felony child endangerment, and breaking a dozen housing regulations. The fake officer survived his wounds. He was later sentenced to 12 years for assault, unlawful imprisonment, and impersonation. Patricia received a 20-year term. The HOA was disbanded by a civil court order. I hold my daughter a little closer these nights. The silence in our living room is no longer just quiet. It's peace, hard-won and fiercely guarded. True safety isn't a rule in a booklet. It's a line you defend. So I ask you, in that moment with your child in danger, what would your line be? Let me know in the comments. If you believe in protecting what's yours, like this video and subscribe to Trending Tales Pulse for more powerful stories of justice.